So, a while-ish back, I created a sim based off of Davina from the Mafia Nanny, and I received a couple of requests to do both Mikey and Gabriel. And you request it, and I will do my best to deliver. So, I hope I make you all proud. Enjoy this speed creation of the Angelini family. And so we are starting with Gabriel Angelini. And I will say I start off with the traits first, but I won't lie, I end up changing them a little bit later on. We know he's loyal, and I put him as perfectionist because of all the suits, and self assured because I don't know, he just seems self assured, but he cares about Mikey so much, so he's got that super parent type for his aspiration. Uh, Looking in on hair, from what we see, he is probably more of a platinum blonde, but I went more on the gray end. And I am going to tell you right now, I am not perfect when it comes to doing casts, build mode, probably really anything in regards to The Sims, but you asked for this, and who am I not to say no after creating Davina? So, going in and trying to make as perfect of a Gabriel Angelini as I could, and getting those striking blue eyes that he has and that kind of neutral tone skin, which I was kind of surprised about as I'm looking at him. He's Italian, so I would have thought that they would have had more of like an olive tone, but reading the webtoons, it gives me more of a much lighter skin, but also in more of the cool neutral tone. Next is the hair. Hair's the one of the most important features, I think, of Gabriel, and I could only find two different hairstyles that I felt really fit for the character of Gabriel Angelini. And this, of course, was one of them that I'm going to keep for most of the fits. But, things change. And of course, we're going to go with a suit naturally. And uh, though there are a lot that are all completely buttoned up, I did actually find one that was unbuttoned a little bit. Unfortunately, this is gray and not white, and it is black, which I can't tell in this picture if this particular suit is black or if it's blue, but he predominantly wears black or blue. And you'll notice in pretty much every single scene when you can see his chest or his neck, he's wearing a cross necklace. So I do make sure, and I go back later on so you can see, I do make sure that he wears this specific necklace every time. I don't have CC in here. I'm not using CC, so it is just a basic necklace, but it's to represent the one that it would appear he wears all the time. Now, this one for formal wear, I chose this particular red suit. Now, this is a much later episode, and definitely no spoilers throughout this. I should have said that first, but these are just showing you the different outfits. So, for this one, I was going to try and match this specific suit for formal wear. They are going to a particular event together, and this is the only time he's actually wearing glasses, which was kind of interesting. But I think if you do, when you do actually get to this particular chapter, you'll likely kind of figure out why. And now we're on to athletic wear. This was the closest I could get to athletic wear. Now, of course, it's probably just that he's wearing this tank top undershirt with his pants, but I was like, I think he would wear that tight tank top with just a pair of black shorts. I realized that I wanted to use the other hair that I had found for the formal, so I do go back and forth every once in a while. Now we're on with the only time I think we know of that he wears pajamas. And assuming that these are what he wears, this tied kind of bluish gray looking sweatpants is what I would assume he wears for pajamas at night. Now, moving on to party wear. Now, there are a couple of instances here where I'm going through, and initially I think I get things confused because I'm thinking of this pinstripe suit that he's wearing in this particular episode that you see here. But there's also a party scene where he is wearing a blue suit, which now you're seeing this particular party scene. So I think I just kind of meshed the two together in this instance, did the blue pinstripe suit for party wear, and of course, finding that necklace again. And then we're going to get to probably everybody's favorite part, which, of course, is Pool Day, one of the greatest episodes in this entire series. Maybe. Uh, but anyway, so I actually took off the masculine in order to get this particular Speedo because it was necessary. Come on now. It's just, yeah. That was the reason why anybody really wanted me to make this, isn't that right? Uh, so we're on to hot weather wear, and I took inspiration from this particular outfit where he has the suspenders, and it bothered me because I knew that there were suspenders that didn't have long sleeves. And as I went through and was looking at cold weather, I found these uh, rolled up sleeves. Now, on the one, it didn't show rolled up sleeves, and then it did show rolled up sleeves, but not with the suspenders. So, again, meshing those together. And we really don't have anything in regards to cold weather wear. So, I just kind of picked a black kind of suit looking jacket. And made sure he had all of the appropriate necklaces going on. And I kept thinking about his traits. And again, you'll see that I end up changing that. I wanted to use, I love using genetics in The Sims, it's my favorite thing. And with Mikey, I knew that as a trait, he was going to be a perfectionist, but we know that he is actually creative. So he's got the artist aspiration, but he's a perfectionist, always having his suits. He hates wearing anything that's not his suits. Gotta have those three-piece suits, uh, and that can make it a little tricky to make sure that you're not using the exact same suit for all of the different types. And you will see later on that I um, have to go back and change things so that they're not all the same. So here we have the very first instance of Mikey, and there's the black suit. Then for this party or formal wear, he's wearing a blue in this particular episode. Now, going on to athletic wear, this one was really difficult for me. Finding that t shirt was probably the hardest thing ever. Um, but I came up with something. I still am not happy with it. If you all maybe think of something that would have worked better, I am all ears. I think it's supposed to be kind of like a Paw Patrol, but with cats. But I know that there is a real cat version of like Paw Patrol, so it is what it is. Um, but it definitely took me a while to find something that I was really happy with. I believe I set on just keeping a taco cat, keeping that cat themed going on. I still wanted to have a t-shirt. So yeah, I stick with taco cat, and then he's wearing sweatpants and he's wearing blue sneakers for this particular one. So that one went fairly quickly with the exception of that shirt. Now, going on to his sleepwear, this one was difficult and not difficult. There isn't anything where there isn't a certain style or color pattern um, involved, so I couldn't find any sleepwear that was had different color patterns, but I did find that blue that I felt worked really well. Now onto the party scene. It's kind of reminiscing back to the first one that I did with formal, and I actually ended up using the exact same one, which I'll find out later on as I'm looking back on things. Now we're on swim day again, pool day, and I was upset because I couldn't find any just straight blue swim trunks. The blue ones that were available, they didn't have. And then I get upset again because we don't have any of these shorts that are like a navy blue. They're they just the rest of the other blue shorts just didn't really fit very well for me. The khakis worked, but I didn't want khakis. Here I had these the long socks, I had the blue shoes, I had the sweater vest looking thing, but I was like, no. I ended up keeping the pants, even though I know it's hot weather. I wanted to stick with having the blue color instead of doing the khaki pants. It just didn't feel right for me. And this is where I kind of go into this full rendition of just trying to realize that, oh, everybody's wearing they're wearing the exact same color. So end up switching so that formal and party are not the same. And then going in because again, Mikey does actually like his black. And there is kind of this black on black on black um, suit. So that's the one that we end up using for cold weather. Now, I wanted to do a little twist that nobody asked for and add mom. Now, as far as we know, and this was introduced well in the beginning, mom has theoretically passed away. Uh, we've seen various renditions of her, whether it be flashbacks or even a picture that Mikey drew for his dad of his mom. It would appear that she really likes the color purple, uh, and she's blonde and she has bangs. So when we go into traits, you'll end up seeing that we focus on her being very loyal to her family, very connected with her family, so very family oriented. But she's also very self assured. She's going to say her mind. And so you can see that right now on what I'm actually selecting and then going back, making sure everything works out well, uh, that all of the family dynamics and whatnot are working. So yeah, she is family oriented, loyal, and self-assured. And again, pretty much just going through and looking at all of the purple dresses uh, and adding purple. Now, there is one particular scene right here that it would appear she's at a party, and you may not, when you actually see the full scene, you'll notice that it is a party and possibly a birthday party. And so I wanted to get as close as I could to address that mimic to this particular one. Uh, Again, I did the best that I could with what I had, but this one I kept going back to. And since it's a party, going through, adding the makeup, all of that stuff, and then going after adding, of course, the wedding rings throughout, I looked at some other bangs, and this particular hairstyle that's kind of wavy, uh, that one I pretty much was like, okay, that's actually more of her hairstyle for all of them. So I switched and everything's going to be this. Now, of course, she's got way longer hair, but it is what it is. I feel like she's more of that sort of active sim that would go horseback riding or something. Again, just throwing in the uh, purple dresses for the most part, except for the athletic wear. Of course, no dresses for swimwear. Um, and then also for cold weather wear, there won't be a dress. But I'm getting ahead of myself with voiceover. So just pulling her hair back and again finding a dress that fits in with what I felt would work for her. And finding an outfit, again, looking at the purples, and finding something that I felt would also work for this particular person. I had no idea. I don't know what her name is. And there I switch her to hot headed. And when I switch her to hot headed, I then actually switch his to hot headed and family oriented as well. Uh, so I find it interesting that I didn't even mean to do that. It just kind of happened. So now you can see all their outfits and Mikey's outfits. And of course, Mrs. Angelini's outfits, which, if you know her name, please feel free, leave them in the comments below. I'd greatly appreciate it. And that is our happy little Angelini family. Thank you all so much for asking me to do this. I never expected it, but I appreciate it. Bye!